In this training, we will give an overview of your responsibilities as the mine guide. At the end of this training, you will be able to 1. Properly prepare visitors for their mine tour, 2. Safely guide visitors through the mine, and 3. Identify key locations in the mine. The purpose of this training is to focus on safety and familiarity of the mine, less on the history, which we will be covering in a separate training. Making sure people watch their heads, stay together, and are as comfortable as possible is your top priority. Although the history is important, it does come second to safety. Visitors will probably hear very little of what you have to say, simply because the mine can be distracting. Make sure you only talk history when you have gathered the group in a stationary spot, and make sure to finish your tour within 30 minutes, both for scheduling and for visitor comfort. It is your responsibility to keep track of your timing. When a group arrives for their tour, you are assigned to that group for the duration of their time at the mine. This means you will relay the mine information and guidance at the top of the mine, give the mine tour below, and relay white nose syndrome protocol at the end of the tour when you return above ground. Setting the scene for the mine is very important. You want your visitors to be as prepared as possible and must assume that they know nothing about the conditions they are about to experience. Here are the most important facts to tell visitors before descending below. The path to the copper mine is 32 steps down, 100-yard loop with elevation changes from 35 feet to 75 feet, and some tunnels are only 4 feet tall. It is consistently 52 degrees in the mine, wet and dimly lit in the tunnels. Pay attention to uneven footing and low ceilings. Consider your medical history and physical limitations before descending to the mine. Strollers, wheelchairs, walkers, and similar devices are not permitted, and children under 16 must be accompanied by an adult. Closed-toed shoes are recommended. As a side note, we do not disband anyone from entering the mine, whether they're wearing closed-toed shoes or not. We simply state that that is our recommendation and cannot be held accountable. Regarding the holding handrails, we used to encourage visitors to hold the handrails. However, they are in rough shape with some rusting, and so we no longer tell them to hold them, but might mention that they are there if needed. Because safety is so important, it is also crucial that you inform visitors of the rules and expectations for their tour. These are the rules that you must inform visitors of. Please pay attention to uneven footing and low ceilings, no running or jumping, stay on the designated path, and there is no food or drink permitted in the mine. Mine access is only permitted when guides are present. There is no self-guiding in the copper mine. As you enter the mine, the first location you must stop at is the landing. Visitors that are hesitant about the mine are encouraged to try the landing and inform that they can return to the top if it is not to their liking. This location is large and spacious, allowing for great space to orient visitors both of the mine and its history. Be sure to take a moment to check with visitors before continuing your tour in case anyone would like to return above ground. This is where you would notify them that you are now leaving the landing, going into smaller tunnels, but they can go back up the stairs if they so choose. The next location you may want to stop at is the well, which will be located on your left down the tunnel. It may be hard to gather visitors here, but does allow for a chance to look up one of the shafts. When you leave the well, there's a very steep spot, and we would like you to inform visitors of this before hitting that. Solitary confinement is a popular attraction for visitors. Unfortunately, it is flooded throughout much of the year and cannot be accessed. Even when accessible, it is your choice to show the group this location. Depending on group size, accessibility, etc., you may choose to skip this section. If you do enter solitary, it is a good space to encourage visitors to reflect on the inhumane conditions of Newgate. After leaving or passing solitary, you will next come to the shortest tunnel. Make sure to stop and inform visitors that this tunnel is only 4 feet high and to watch their heads as they exit the tunnel to make sure they have clearance. Finally, you will arrive at the deepest point, which is 75 feet below ground. This location is open and convenient for discussion. However, it is often the most wet portion of the mine, so please be cautious of that. Make sure to not stop visitors at the stairs, as this is by far the most wet. The spiral stairs are technically an exit, but only to be used in extreme emergency if the primary exit is unavailable. After leaving the deepest point, you will ascend back to the landing, where you can pause again for discussion or questions. Just make sure to be aware of the next group descending. When you exit the mine, make sure your entire group is with you, and when everyone is back above ground, you can be sure to talk about white nose syndrome as a fungus and disease that is rapidly killing our bat population. White nose syndrome is not dangerous to humans, but we do ask that our visitors step on the alcohol and water mats to help disinfect their shoes and prevent further spread. In summary, the key points for you to remember as a mine guide and those which you will be evaluated on throughout the season include mine guide introducing themselves, starting with mine information and guidance, moving to 3 or more locations, portraying accurate information, speaking only when stationary except to guide visitors, asking or allowing for questions, aiding visitors with uneven and low locations, and ending after 30 minutes, and ending with the white nose syndrome protocols. This concludes the mine guide training. Thank you all for attending.